Hello everybody and welcome to Neat Games. In today's video we are going to be talking about accessories because I completely forgot to mention them in the gear building discussion. So the way that accessories work are very similar to the way that all of the other pieces work, where specific pieces have the option of giving you specific primary stats and specific substats. Now in the ring you will never find a substat like speed or crit rate or crit damage, or resist, or accuracy. The only ones that you can find are on this left side. And for the primary stats, you can only find three options, either HP, attack, or defense. Okay? Now, the way that I like to look at rings, especially in the early game, is your focus really should be on HP and defense. Either one of these for the primary stat, and ideally, a substat that has both of those in the percentage rolls, because you can get the flat stat rolls here, but you can also get the percentage rolls. So for example, if we look at this ring that I have on Kale, it's an HP flat stat because you can't get a primary stat percentage on a ring, but it has in the flat stats 3 percentage based substats. Sorry, it has in the substats 3 percentage based ones. This is where you're going to get the most value, because as your base stats and your level improves, so do these benefits and bonuses that you get from these pieces. So what I strongly recommend whenever you're gearing your champions is you start with HP or defense in the main and look for ones that have HP and defense in the substats. Like this is a really, really good ring for a Skinwalker champion. This, if it misses the attack flat stat, is a really good ring. And this is kind of the basis of how I build most of my champions at the beginning, because what is it doing? The same thing I always talk about. It's giving you survivability. The more survivability you have, the more chances your champion will have of going, the more chances your champions will have of using their big skills that will give them that value. Now, if you're having a build where it's not important for them to go a lot of times, and you're just using them in one specific scenario, like let's say you have an arena nuker, so then I would completely say that there's a different strategy. You want specifically, let's say you have an arena nuker that is based off of attack. That is how their damage scales. So you'd really want an attack percentage ring, an attack flat stat ring with attack percentage in the substat. And then you'd want to look at your highest star piece, and you'd want it ideally rolling as many times in the attack percentage substat, because that's how you're going to get the most bang for your buck for that specific build. But in the early game, it's very rare that you're going to be using one champion for one very specific build. Like I, on my account, only have 2 level 60s. On this account, this is obviously my free-to-play. I only have 2 level 60s, Kale and Lysandra. So I'm going to be using Kale pretty much everywhere. I'm going to be using Lysandra pretty much everywhere. And like right now, I can see that she has a 3-star ring. This is unacceptable. This is my best champion. So I need to re-equip her with a better ring. And in her case, do I care about attack? No, absolutely not. Her job is survivability. So when I look at these rings, I'm going to look first and foremost at my stars. 6-star doesn't exist. Okay? Now we're going to go down to 5-star. Because again, the higher the star, the higher the value that you're going to get from the piece. Now we're going to look at the rings. So ideally, I want to stay away from the uncommons, because I'm going to get more value from the rares and the epics. So we look at these. And now we understand that we don't want attack as the main stat. We want HP or defense. So now, very quickly, just by doing some filtering, I don't have to worry about all those other rings. I want to worry about these ones. Now, when we see these rings, you can see that these are just basic rings. Okay? But this one right here is a special ring. It's a reaction ring, which tells me that it has a special effect. There is a 25% chance to change a critical hit into a normal when attacked before the first turn. Okay? So there might be some logic in me building this one over other ones, because if their champions go first, and if I lose that speed race, or I get hit with a critical hit, it's actually going to have a chance to turn it into a normal hit. But we really want to avoid that attack substat. So if it double rolls on attack, it's probably not the ring for me. Unfortunate that that's what happened, so we're going to switch to a different ring. So, you know, ideally I would have found a ring that, like I was mentioning before, would have double defensive stat percentages. But again, as long as I can avoid the attack percentage here, this is going to be a better ring for me. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the difference by putting this ring on instead of the other one. even if it hits attack percentage, which obviously it did. Okay, so just because this is an HP ring with an HP percentage roll, that's why my HP is going to go down. But if this was level 12, which I can't roll it right now, and it hit HP percentage, there's a chance that this ring would be an improvement for me. So really what I should do is see if I can do this. So I'm just going to sell all of these rings because I've been farming so much spider that I don't really care about 4-star rings anymore. I really want to prioritize 5-star. I'm guessing I don't have 3-star. Should have started there. Okay, so we're going to try and roll that ring up to 12 and see if it rolls on HP percentage, ideally. I'm very good at rolling. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. HP defense with substat of HP percentage, let's say. Okay, so again, we're just going to try and roll this to HP percentage. Perfect. Wonderful. We take it to 12, and now we can compare apples to apples. So just by rolling a higher star piece of gear and having it roll better, look at the difference. I'm gaining 2,800 HP by switching out this ring. Okay, so this is the value of rings, and there is a tremendous increase on value when you talk about the rings that have specialty effects to them, like Blood Shield or reaction, or whatever the case is. So if you have two similar rings, but one of them has the special effect, you definitely want to be using that special effect ring. And as you progress in the game, you get more important ones like Refresh, which have a chance to refresh the cooldown of one of your abilities. Right? Blood Shield has value in certain parts of the game. Reaction rings are very important. You get them from CVC. Okay, so that's how rings work. You want the stack stat, though. That's the real bread and butter. If you have an HP ring, you'd love to have it with HP percentage in the substat. And again, you want to prioritize the higher pieces. Okay? Now we're going to move on to necklaces. Necklaces work in the same way for the main stat. They have 3 options plus 1 extra. So they have HP attack, or, oops, Jesus Christ, the lag is real. We have HP, attack, or defense as the primary stat, and also crit damage. Because of this, it's more often than not that attack necklaces are not going to have a ton of value to you in this game. You're better off using a crit damage necklace instead. But the substats are very important. The substats in a necklace are similar to the ring in the sense that you can't get percentage based, you can't get crit rate or crit damage, right? You can't get speed. You can't get percentage based attack, defense, or HP. But what you can get is accuracy and resist. Now, resist is not something that you may think is an important stat, but the more you progress in the game, the more important resist is. And it has tremendous value in places like Arena, in places like certain boss fights to avoid getting provoked or feared or that kind of thing, and in Hydra, our favorite content in the game. So right now on my main account, I'm using necklaces as a way to find these 2 incredibly important substats. Now, we've talked about the importance of accuracy, and it actually exists in rings. Sorry, in necklaces. So if you can find a legendary necklace, unfortunate, or an epic necklace with accuracy in it, this is a chance for you to double or triple roll on accuracy and bump up your accuracy by 20, 30, and on certain pieces, like on my main account, upwards of 50 extra accuracy just from one piece in your necklace. And resistance applies the same way, where you can get a big boost in these stats by rolling well. Okay? So on your nukers, most likely, if they're crit capped, you're going to be wanting to prioritize crit damage as their necklace. But there's also value in, again, like we said before, survivability. So something like HP and defense main stat with a substat of crit damage here can also apply. And when you see something like a Revenge Amulet, again, that's one of those specialty ones, gives you an extra 5% chance to counterattack when hit. Where do you get these necklaces from, you might wonder? from the clan shop. We go to our clan. Boop. We go to the clan shop. And right here, this accessory right here is a revenge accessory. Okay? So you can buy these revenge accessories with the clan gold that you get here. And you can see I have no chill. I'm going to buy them all. Because those types of accessories have huge value on your account. And if I could get, for example, on my Kale or Lysandra, probably Kale would be the ideal champion for me to get a revenge piece, because he is my main carry and all of the content in the game. So him having a chance to counterattack with his A1 could be the difference between me winning a battle or losing a battle. And if you can get it on a champion like Armiger, who has a chance to decrease turn meter, or Coldheart, who's going to be a 4-hitter, or Zargala, who can put a weaken on, or whatever the case may be, right? Like this is definitely going to be going on my Zargala. It gives you that extra bonus and that extra benefit. So again, let's go back to what we were talking about. So rings, we know what we want. We want stack stats, which means HP with HP percentage, attack with attack percentage, defense with defense percentage, and ideally as many percentage-based pieces in the substat. With your necklace, again, as always, we want the higher star pieces as the priority, and know that it's a great way to find crit damage in the main. It's an okay way to find HP and defense in the main. Not great for attack, because crit damage will almost always be better. And then it's a great way to find substats like accuracy. And now we talk about the most important accessory in the game, the banner. So when we go to the banner, similar things, right? We can see HP, attack, and defense, but these are the main ones that I want to talk about, resist and accuracy, with the main important one being accuracy. So on a champion like a Kale, or Syl of the Drakes, which everybody gets for free, or Zargala, or Lysandra, or any champion that requires accuracy, the best way to get a lot of accuracy is in the banner. Because as we can see, when we take an accuracy banner that is 6-star to level 16, it gives you 96 accuracy, just like that. And the most important substat in a banner is speed. So when you have champions that need accuracy, which means there's a debuffer, they likely also need speed, because we want them going as often as possible. And as we talked about many times, speed is the most important stat in the game for a long time on most champions. You want an accuracy banner with speed in the substat. So for example, this piece, if I don't find a better one, is going to go on Syl, because it's an accuracy main with a substat of speed. Now, Syl is a defense champion, so these other two stats suck. But I don't care, because my bread and butter on Syl is going to be accuracy and speed. And if I have to use this one until I find a better one, then that's the play. And that's why this is most likely the search that you're going to be looking for. Accuracy with substat speed. Now let's say your person is not a debuffer. So the same thing will apply. You're going to want HP or defense, most likely, at the beginning of the game especially, with a substat of speed. And these are going to be the pieces that you roll up and try and equip on your champions. Because if you can get, let's say, a percentage, look, this is a perfect example of a great banner. Because it's a defense-based banner with a defense percentage, so the stack stat, and the opportunity of speed. So if this rolls 2 speeds, it's great. If it rolls 2 defenses, it's great. If it rolls 1 and 1, it's great. It's not a bad piece. Is it the best piece for late game? No, of course not. But it will have huge usability and huge viability on your account for quite some time. So that's kind of the importance of understanding what is available for you in these pieces. So the most important things, as always, in rings and banners, and really in all pieces, is understanding the viability of stacked stats. So if it's a main stat of HP, you want more HP percentage. If it's, if you have the availability to get speed, you probably want speed. If you can get it in a specialty banner, probably want to do that as well. Hopefully this gives you some insight into how you build your champions. So for me, my Achilles heel right now is getting an accuracy banner for Kale. I would love an accuracy banner on Kale. I don't even care what the other information is on it. I just want an accuracy banner on Kale, because then I can stop forcing accuracy in all of his other pieces and build him out stronger and better. But because I can't do that, I had to put him in a perception set and find pieces with accuracy in the build itself, because that's the only way that I was going to get the accuracy that I needed. So where's my accuracy coming from? Right here. There's 22 accuracy right here. There's another 40 from having this set. And then there's also more coming from my Great Hall bonus. Right? But ideally, and some for masteries, ideally I'd like them with higher accuracy. But the best way for me to do that is to get an accuracy banner. So what does that mean? Quite simply, this is where I'm going to live for the next while. So with that, I bid you adieu. I hope these videos were a helpful way to help you understand how gearing your champions works, kind of the bread and butter of each individual champion and how to kind of focus those efforts. And I'm going to put up some videos now related to the Hell Hades Optimizer to understand how you can use third-party tools to make your life easier and let them do this stuff for you, because it's hard to go through all of your gear and look at all these different options when you have a toolkit that actually can do it for you. But the most important thing to understand is you actually have to roll your gear at least to level 8. So anything that has those key substats that you're looking for, crit rate, speed, and accuracy, most likely these are the ones, you're going to want to roll them to 8, especially the ones that are in good sets, like perception and speed and accuracy and lifesteal, because if you want to build people in a specific set, you can do that on the optimizer. So that's kind of the breakdown of how you want to build holistically your champions. And as you progress through the game, as you get more options, as you get more opportunities to have different sets and different gears, the building process is actually going to become a lot easier. But at the beginning, you kind of got to do the best you can. And that's why whenever I'm doing my account takeovers, if you look at the account takeover section in my accounts, you'll see kind of how I build their gear with this same base ideology, where I start with, hey, what is my highest star speed boot? Okay, that one. And which one has the substats that I'm going for? Okay, that one, that's most likely the winner. Let's try that on. Now, what do I want in the chess piece? Okay, I want defense or HP percentage with this substat focus. And then I keep on working through. I take a screenshot, I break it down, and I say, okay, you know what? If I can sneak in another accuracy piece, boom, that's going to up my accuracy by 40. Or if I can sneak in another speed set piece, okay, great, that's going to increase my speed, which means I can offset it here or there. So you really got to give yourself a chance to understand how the gear is broken down to give yourself the best opportunity to actually build the best way you can. Simple as that. I hope this helps. I feel like I repeated myself a lot in these videos, but it's probably good anyways because it gave you the option to see different builds and how you think about different things, how do you strategize different things. And as you can see, I just gave my champions just a little bit of love, just a tiny bit. And I just got back-to-back new records on Spider 10. Just by changing a tiny bit of gear. Like, I didn't even do a full re-gear on anybody because they were already geared okay. But that is kind of the name of the game. You tweak, you adjust, you go farm more gear, you try and find better gear to tweak and adjust to go farm more gear, and you just keep going through that cycle. And by doing that, it gives you the opportunity to farm higher dungeons, which will give you access to better gear, and around and around and around we go. For those of you who don't know, farm Spider 10. Spider 10, if you're not farming 16 plus, which is what I'm going to be doing on this account, is the best chance of getting 5-star gear. You didn't hear it here. You didn't hear it here. You heard it here. You didn't. I don't know. Hopefully they don't fix that. But right now there is a higher chance to farm good pieces from Spider 10. So if you're struggling on Spider 12 or 14 and you can't get 100% consistency on the win rate, don't worry about it. Forget it. Just keep on farming here. Live in Spider 10. Give yourself those accuracy banners with speed and substat. Get yourself those high star rings with HP percentage and defense percentage of the substats. And just build your champions to survive. Survivability is the name of the game. Speed and survivability and accuracy on your debuffers. The rest will come in time when you get to farming Dragon 20. But until then, win tournaments. Get relentless gear and farm the highest star gear possible for your account. What does that mean? Dragon 13 is your first goal. Spider 10 is your first goal. Then Dragon 16. Then Spider 16. Dragon 20. Spider 20. That's the kind of goals, the early game account goals that you're looking for. Anyways, This video went on for way too long, much like all of my account takeovers, much like all of my YouTube videos. I hope this provided you with some insight and some guidance. As always, if you have any questions, if you need any help, don't be shy. Jump into one of my streams, jump into the Discord, and we'll take it from there. I hope this helps. Hail Hydra! Never forget.